my second Sona video, and that is because this is almost as bad as that. Like this is pretty terrible. So in South African Parliament, you are legally allowed to walk out because there's so many parties that it's not a big deal if one walks out. So in this case, in South Africa, there's three parties. There's three parties that are pretty big. So the biggest one, and about 50 to 60% of the population, belong to the ANC. And the ANC is the African National Congress. They're pretty big, pretty powerful. The president is under them, stuff like that, etc., etc. The second biggest one is the DA, and the DA is the progressive party in South Africa. Very, very progressive. They're the Democrats. They're the Democrats. The ANC is not the Republicans, though. Yeah. Anyways, just imagine that the DA are Democrats, pretty liberal, but not. But even then, like me comparing it to America is just because most of my viewer base is American. Then you get the. Need to shave this pretty badly. Then you get the third party, the third biggest party right now, and there's a total of 8 parties, I think, but the rest are very minuscule. But the third biggest party is called the EFF, and they wear these like bright red overalls. Like they look like if prisoners, instead of wearing orange jumpsuits, were wearing red ones. Just to give you an idea, I'll show you a clip of them. Now, in this State of the Nation address, they actually had 2 parties walk out, and those are the 2 biggest parties, and that was the DA and the EFF. Why is this a big deal? Well, because it's very clear from everything I've seen and everything that the DA are doing that the government are not willing to do anything to our current president, Jacob Zuma, who is a convicted rapist, and anything like that. They walked out because nothing is happening. Zuma doesn't answer any questions. He doesn't take anything. His State of the Nation address addressed none of the concerns of the country. And South Africa is obviously a democratic country, but in a sense, it is not a democratic country. So a lot of people say that most of Trump's voting base, and obviously, like I don't believe this because I don't know. I'm not American, so don't take my word for this. A lot of people I know, the Americans I know, say that most of the people who voted for Trump are like the redneck idiots. To give you guys a comparison, and those rednecks who like live in swamps and stuff. Anyways, that is what the average person for the ANC are. Like, sorry, that is what the average person who votes for the ANC are. Not out of their choice, but because they're uneducated and they can't afford an education, and schools in South Africa are the worst schools in the world. We are the lowest scoring country in both math and science in the world. Education in South Africa is the worst education on the planet. So just remember that in any upcoming thing. And the unemployment rate is about 44%. So most people cannot afford to go to school. Like, schooling is not free in South Africa. There's no school that's free. Like, obviously you can get very cheap and you can get subsidies and stuff like that, but even then, still pretty expensive. So the average person who votes for the ANC are like usually very I wouldn't say stupid because they could be like very clever, but they're very uneducated. Not educated people. They vote for passion. They vote in passion. They don't vote in thought. So the ANC are the ones who got rid of apartheid, which is like what Martin Luther King did. They got rid of laws that kind of like were bad for. They just made races equal. And under ANC, apartheid ended. And Nelson Mandela, if you guys know Nelson Mandela, he's quite a famous guy. He was the one who facilitated that. He was the figurehead. He did a lot of the work as well. He's not just a figurehead. And because of that, people will vote for the ANC for life. They are dedicated ANC people. They will not vote for any other party because the ANC freed them. They don't care about anything. They don't want to hear it. They just want the ANC to be in power. They don't care about anything else. Which is ironic, really. Considering that Nelson Mandela said to the people that if the ANC becomes bad, you must do to them the same thing you did to apartheid and get rid of it. Or he said something along those lines, like vote for a different party. So yeah, irony at its best, as usual. So now, how did the ANC play a part in this? Well, the president is in the ANC. So the ANC elected the president. So we elected the ANC, and the ANC chooses the president. Similar to how America does it, except... Actually, it's almost exactly the same as America does it. Except in South Africa, there's more than one party that has relevance. Like, I know there is the Green Party, but I mean relevant as in they have seats in parliament and they can swing decisions effectively. Even the EFF have a decent chunk of say in apartheid. I mean, in the government. Sorry, it's actually so irritating. Now, the big deal is that in here, the EFF are very much considered extremists and all of that. So there's two events that happened tonight that involve the EFF being extremists and the DAs being liberal. And you'll see why, because I'll play the clips for you. It's going to be decently long video. This is just some backstory so you know what's happening, because Sona is just a joke. State of the Nation Address 2017 is a joke. Nothing happened. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I just finished the live stream. First video I made is busy rendering, so that's why I'm making this one now, because I may as well. But yeah. So the EFF, their problem with the president was that why should a president who is a criminal be allowed into office when it's a South African law that you may not go into a position of power if you have a if you have any criminal history. Good point. There is no arguing that. A lot of people have a problem with the EFF because most of them are extremists. They call for the killing of all white people. The killing of all Afrikaners. Afrikaner is a subset of white people in South Africa who speak Dutch. They want to kill all of them, or a lot of them do. Probably say like 50 to 60% of all EFF members think that South Africa belongs to the blacks and there's no place for white people. Whew, sorry, it stresses me out just thinking about it actually. Because like they got 10% of the vote or something. Pretty damn high for a party that formed that year. They're not an old party. So they are extremists, and people don't want to agree with them. In fact, even the ANC are like, you guys are too extreme for me. Like that's just how it is. The leader is Julius Malema, and he left the ANC because of internal struggles, but this is the result. Now, they asked the question in Parliament, and as I said, it's very hard to agree with the EFF, because why? Because they're fucking extremists. And the speaker, I don't know his name, and he doesn't have a name tag, but he said, why should we allow Jacob Zuma? Like, Jacob Zuma should leave, and Jacob Zuma is a retarded president, just by the way. Also one of the most corrupt people on earth. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. He's taken like 1% of our entire GDP for himself. Yeah, anyways. That's the current predicament. They wanted him to leave, and because of that, tension started to rise, and you could see it. You could literally see it. People started giving the EFF trouble, saying they were backstabbers, betrayers, unloyalists, stuff like, you know, all sorts of stupid words and stuff like that. And you could see the EFF starting to rise to the challenge. And there is this thing with the EFF where they want to fight all the time. I'm gonna show you a clip. So tell me what you think, and you'll see exactly what I mean. They just start fucking fighting. And then they get kicked out. Yeah, here it is.
Who's not prepared to go? I hope this gentleman will persuade.
You can kill me, it's fine, kill me. Just kill me, there's no problem, kill me.
We see honorable members using their heads to harm others.
as you can see, they just started fighting. They just started fighting and then they got kicked out. That's just how it is. Then they started to fight with the military outside by throwing bricks at them. No one died. No one has died yet. I mean, it's happening right now. So, I mean, there's still... I was going to say hope. It would have been really, really dark. No, there's still a chance. They might fight. They're still outside. So, yeah. Anyways. So that's happening right now. So they got kicked out. And why did they get kicked out? Because they don't like the president, and then they started a fight after the president asked them to leave. And you can hear the president busy laughing about it and joking, and he says to them like, try kill me, and stuff like that, because the EFF say they're gonna kill him. Dude, do you see the level of government here? It's actually just ridiculous. Hurts my fucking brain. So then later on in the night, after all of that happened, oh, just by the way, the people in white are policemen. They're not anything hectic. They're policemen. So then later on in the night, the DA, the liberals, but not like the liberals to not like the liberals to Republicans. Liberals as in we want South Africa not under ANC. It's just the best word to call them. Liberals is the wrong word, but they are liberal. So if you are a Trump supporter, for example, liberals in America have a completely different meaning to liberals in South Africa. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, just keep that in mind. Now, the liberals here, the DA, they have their own issue. And that is with I spoke about in the last video, the militarization of parliament. Even saying those words is just like, what the actual fuck? Like, militarization of parliament? Parliament? Anyways, I mean, imagine rolling up to the White House and having an army at the front door. Or there's like a battalion of 500 soldiers. I mean, I imagine there must be security, and there must be a security base nearby. That is how it is here, too. There is security, but the army is not there, chilling. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So the DA have a big problem with that. And the fact that the president called the military himself, it's Zuma's deployed group, these are his own soldiers, just speaks, it just paints such a beautiful picture about how our retarded president thinks. And I mean, like, this guy is so dumb that he can get away with anything. It's just shocking. He could shoot a dude and still be president, because he relies on the votes of the uneducated mass. And I mean mass, the uneducated masses. Yeah, it's really, really insane how things have turned out. It's mind-blowing. They had a big problem with this, and because nobody would do anything or give them an answer or even alleviate some of their concerns whatsoever, they just walked out. No fighting or anything. They just walked out. I'll show you the clip here, so take a look.
Honorable my man.
Yes, ma'am. If I can, speakers become quite clear. Firstly, the argument is simple. There's been the military here in the precinct, which is against what you agreed to us.
You're chocolate! You're chocolate!
Developed at the top. The president has broken the law. This parliament does not stand. We cannot stand for a violation of the Constitution by you as well. We refuse
Honorable Chair,
in this house, and I will request that we
on a point of honorable Chair
to stay in the
speaker on a point of order.
Also, just by the way, when you hear that lady saying "fuck off," she's speaking South African. So I'll give you a hint what it means. It means I love you. Heartfelt, enduring moment when that ANC lady is screaming "fuck off" to the DA. It definitely is not Afrikaans for "fuck off," because that would not be okay to say in Parliament. So "fuck off" means love you. Yeah.
Racist and a sellout. No dogs here. More racist and a sellout.
Coalition. The
My
DA
man is son of
using the life of dead people to campaign.
My man is son of Trump.
We are using dead people to campaign. We are using the names of dead people to campaign.
Dead people which you have killed. Dead people.
You are using the names of dead people for politics. We are using the name of dead people for politics. You are very cheap. You are very cheap.
Yeah, as you can see, that's Memuzi Maimane, and he is a fucking South African hero. The dude who gave that speech, he's a fucking hero, okay? So just keep that in mind every time you see the name Maimane, because he is very much a hero in South African times. I don't actually know what the country would do without him right now. You hear a lot of people calling him a dog and saying he's reverse racist, and it's just like, what? Like, no one has said anything racist. It always has to come down to race. It's supposed to be the Rainbow Nation. Right? Right? What happened to the Rainbow Nation? I just don't get it. Like, everybody's calling him racist, and there's no racist terms. Everyone's calling him a dog, and he said nothing rude. You know? He said nothing wrong. And forget about the racist aspect, because that is the smaller deal. The fact that people are being mean to him because he has a problem with the military chilling outside Parliament is just so mind-blowing. Like, why are these people in politics? I just don't understand. Like, why are these people in politics whatsoever? Because they shouldn't be. You hear about the military chilling outside Parliament, and not only military, a battalion, you have a problem with it. A battalion armed, by the way, and in South Africa it takes a lot to be armed with an automatic weapon. It takes a very, very, very strict permit. You can get a just to give you guys an idea, you can get a semi-automatic gun or a revolver. I don't know if a revolver is semi-automatic in those terms, but semi-automatic gun after getting a license and then doing 3 years worth of like not exams, but like regulations, going through the ropes, you know. Then every 5 years after that, you have to get it renewed. Most people I know that had a gun don't bother. They just don't want to. It's not worth the effort of having a weapon. So the fact that they're perfectly cool with people deployed with automatic weapons in the streets of fucking Parliament is just, oops, sorry, it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Everybody's crazy. I'm not crazy. Everybody else is crazy. It's just like, what is going on? Just why? Why? You know? So they walked out. And this is a very big statement in South Africa. The DA walking out of Parliament is something that does not happen often. More importantly than that is that if Memuzi Maimane and everyone else at the DA, who are mostly reasonable people, walk out, then you really start to lose hope. And that's the worst thing. You know what I mean? It's like the Star Wars movie, but imagine if A New Hope started and Luke got shot as a baby. Yeah, like imagine if Luke just got fucking shot and the whole movie was just... It just played out like Ben Kenobi went to the Death Star and died, and they never met up with Leia. And the Empire just carried on being the Empire. You know, it's like that. Like, there is no hope. Of course, I want to see the hope, but I'm saying that this kind of statement just paints such a dark, gritty picture of the future of South Africa. It just makes you think, like, shit is not going to get better. Like, what can the DA do? They have to spend a lot of time trying to get votes now. The problem with this is that they are not trying to get votes from regular people like you and I. If you are watching this video, you are a lot smarter than the average South African. And that's not the same for the average American or average English person or in Britain or UKian or anything like that. Like, if you're watching this video, you are smarter than the average South African, because the average South African is not technology literate. And I'm really not trying to be a dick to South Africa. I'm just saying that a lot of people are illiterate. A lot of people don't have money for technology, so why would they watch this video? And data is obviously very expensive. And then even then, it's like, you know, do you ever feel tilted? Do you guys play MOBAs or anything? Do you ever feel tilted? Because this is what it feels like to be super tilted and just feel like your team is never gonna win. Like, you know, I want to think that though. Anyways, I know this seems like a rant video. It isn't. It's not well put together because this is literally happening right now. So this is more of a live video. But just how fucked is everything here? Sorry. Hope you all have an amazing day. I'm gonna go take a bath in nails. Bye bye everyone.